Miss Boom, let's look at restrictions of a function. Here we have the same equation x squared, but with different domains. So when we change the domain, we're telling it you can only be drawn up to this much. That's restricting the function. So when we say the domain can be everything or R, we can draw the whole graph. But when we say the domain is between -1 and 1, so x is only allowed to be those values, then our graph will look like something like that. And for h of x, our function has the x elements that are only positive, but including 0. That means our graph will look like that. Let's do an example. Here we have the function of from -2 to 1, 1 inclusive, -2 not inclusive, of x squared minus 1. So x squared is a positive parabola, -1 means it's been moved down by 1. So our graph will look something like that. How do you figure out what the starting point is? Well, you sub in -2 into the equation. So -2 squared is 4, -1 is 3. So that is our y value. And you sub in the last value, the 1. 1 squared is 1, -1 is 0. So now we have this graph. So our range from this graph, and notice that it's a white circle and a colored in circle because exclusive and inclusive, would be -1, the smallest value, to 3. And it's a white circle, so that has to be a round bracket. Be very careful with your brackets. So you have to actually look at the graph to see what the brackets are. One more example. So between 0, not inclusive, to 3 inclusive, of 1 over x. So this time we have a rectangular hyperbola. But because we want only between 0 and 3, so 0 and 3, it's only this section of the rectangular hyperbola. How do we know what that value is? So we know it ends at 3, so sub it in, will be 1 over 3. So always sub in the domain to find your endpoints. Now the range is between 0, not inclusive, sorry, not 0, between the smallest y value is 1/3 and the largest y value is infinity. So the range is between 1/3 to infinity, and because it's a black dot or colored in dot, it is a square bracket. The brackets do not follow the domain pattern. Like it's not the first one is the same and the second one is the same. Notice that it's always looking at the graph, what value or coordinate we're looking at.